My fiancé said, "Per your email, I need a certificate." I replied, "Go." Then I canceled his slot, drove her to the doctor, saved receipts, applied the late fee, waitlisted him for 3 weeks, and smiled because HR was about to turn his policy back on him. Original post: I am 33. I run a small physical therapy clinic. My fiancée is 32. She is a lawyer at a mid-size firm in the city. We live in a 2-bedroom near the park. No kids. Saturday mornings are for laundry and her reading briefs on the couch while I check the clinic schedule. At our engagement party 3 months ago, I told a few of her coworkers they could have a standing discount at my clinic. Friends and family rate. It was casual. 4 of them took me up on it. They were kind. They paid on time. They sent more people. It helped. Then one of her partners booked in. He is older, sharp suit, loud watch. People at the firm roll their eyes when his name comes up. He is the kind of man who laughs like a closing door. My fiancé calls him polite to clients and punishing to staff. I told her I would be professional. She said thank you. His first visit confirmed the stories. He talked more than he listened. He wanted to be taught and praised at the same time. When he went to pay, he asked about the discount. I smiled and said it was for employees. His mouth twitched. He signed the receipt too hard. He booked again, then again. I was polite. He was tolerable in small doses. 3 weeks ago, one of my therapists woke up sick and texted me at 6 a.m. I reshuffled the day and covered their load. That partner arrived for his session and asked how my day was. I told him the truth. Busy. Short-staffed. He said he hoped I had a policy to require a medical certificate. I said I did not. I said I prefer people stay home and rest, he countered. He said his staff drag their feet. He said he plans to crack down. He said nothing keeps people honest like paperwork and penalties. He smiled like a person about to measure your chair. I went home that night with a sore throat. The next day I had a full cold. I wore a mask and kept distance. 2 days later, my fiancée was sick too. Hers was worse, fever, vertigo. She worked from home Friday. By Sunday night, she was dizzy and pale. Monday morning, she emailed her team lead to take 1 sick day. At 10 a.m., her partner emailed her. The subject line was policy. He wrote that she would need a medical certificate for the absence. It was the first time this had ever been enforced at her level. She sent me the email with a small, sad face. I said we should get her seen. She said it would be one more thing to do while she felt like the room was on a boat. I said I would drive. At noon, I checked my clinic calendar. The partner had a 2 o'clock with me. My fiancé's doctor had a gap at 2. I booked it. I wrote the partner a short message. I said I had to cancel his session to drive my fiancée to her doctor because she was unwell. I said I was fully booked for 3 weeks but could add him to a wait list. I hit send. I told my front desk to apply our late cancellation policy to his slot as we do for all cancellations inside 24 hours unless the reason is medical and supported. He had no certificate from me. He had a policy at his firm he wanted to enforce. I decided to show him what that feels like. He texted both of us at once. He said the medical certificate was not necessary. He used a laughing emoji. My fiancée replied that per his email she needed one and could not cancel. She said it would be rude to cancel the doctor. I wrote to him that I agreed. It was best she went. I did not raise my voice in my head. I did not plan a speech. I made a list. Drive her, keep receipts, follow policy. That was all. Update 1, I drove her to the clinic at 140. She held the handle over the window because the motion made her stomach tilt. I sat in the waiting room. The doctor called her in on time. She came out with a certificate and advice to rest and hydrate. I paid at the counter. I took a photo of the receipt and put it in a folder on my phone named Policy. At 2:10, my phone buzzed. It was my front desk. The partner had shown up at my clinic anyway. He had ignored my cancellation message. He was at the counter asking to be seen because he had already arrived. I told my staff to keep it simple. No therapist was free. The slot was canceled with notice. We had 3 weeks of full bookings. We could not see him today. Apply the late cancellation fee as posted. Offer to rebook after 3 weeks or add him to the wait list. Be polite, keep it short. He told my receptionist that this was unacceptable. He raised his voice. He said he was a partner at a law firm. She pointed to the printed cancellation policy card. He said he would take his business elsewhere. She said she understood. He left. He did not slam the door. He did the slower, quieter kind of leaving that tries to make the room smaller. I sent my fiancée a text, all sorted. Rest now. She sent a heart. She took a photo of the medical certificate on the kitchen counter and sent it to her partner's email with the subject line as requested. He replied with a one-line received. His speed made us both laugh and cough. That night, I put the clinic's posted policy sheet, the canceled appointment note, and a scan of the medical certificate into one PDF and emailed it to myself. Not to taunt him, to have handwriting when he tried to edit the story later. The next morning, he sent my clinic a long message. He said he had been treated rudely. He said he had not been informed until the last minute. He said a reasonable business would have accommodated him when he arrived. He copied my fiancée and 2 of his associates. The email had the tone of a parent scolding a child for running in a hallway. I did not write an essay back. I forwarded his email to myself and then wrote 2 clean paragraphs. I said we had canceled at 12:04 for a medical appointment. I attached the message. I said we had offered the next available date or a wait list. I attached a screenshot of the schedule showing full days. I noted our policy, which is posted at reception and on our website. I attached a photo of the card. I said we would waive the fee this once as a courtesy because he arrived in person before reading the cancellation message. I noted my fiancé's medical appointment time. I did not copy anyone else. I sent it to him alone. He replied to all. He said he appreciated our belated courtesy. He said he would consider returning after reviewing options. It was the kind of sentence that wants to sting. It did not. Update 2 at her firm, his email about certificates had sparked a small fire. Associates talked. A senior counsel with 2 kids said the rule change was unfair and would push people to work sick. 2 assistants compared notes and realized he had never asked for certificates from certain favorites. HR asked for a meeting to review sick leave enforcement. My fiancée sent her certificate and the chain of emails. She did not editorialize. She did not add heat. She let the paper talk. The HR manager scheduled a firm-wide memo to clarify policy. Certificates would be required after 2 consecutive days or where there was a known pattern of abuse, not for single days with clear symptoms. Team leads could not demand certificates on a one-off basis unless it met those criteria. The memo landed 2 days later. The partner's name was not in it. His fingerprints were on it anyway. People noticed. People always notice the hand that tries to push a rule onto others and then waves it away when it blocks him. A week after that, 2 associates came to my clinic on lunch break. Both were my regulars. They told my front desk a short story. The partner had made a comment in the office about people who play the system. They had both coughed into their sleeves. They had both said loud enough that working sick is how cases get delayed and floors get emptied. My fiancée did not join the chatter. She did her work. She left at 6. She brought home soup. At my clinic, the partner tried to book again. He called from a different number. He gave only his first name. My receptionist asked for a surname and email. He gave it. The system popped up his file and flagged the prior cancellation. She offered him a date 3 weeks out. He asked for a sooner slot. She said she would add him to the waitlist. He asked for after hours. She said we do not hold after hours for new waitlist entries. He asked if I was available for a special session because of our connection. She said the clinic does not make exceptions based on social ties. He hung up. Later, he left a 3-star Google review that said we were good but inflexible. I left it alone. The truth does not panic around 3 stars. 2 more small things happened. A client who works in HR at another firm told me she had seen a familiar name pop up in a complaint box. It was not my business and she did not share details. She did say culture shifts slow and then fast. I nodded. My fiancé's friend from the party referred another 2 clients to me, saying the partner had been shopping for a cheaper rate since he lost my discount. Both new clients booked and arrived on time. They tipped the staff cookie tins. At the end of the month, my fiancé's team lead called her in. She said the partner was stepping back from some internal duties after an HR review. He would focus on client acquisition and be less involved with leave approvals. The team lead thanked my fiancée for following the policy and keeping her emails clean. She said, "That made my job easier." My fiancée came home and put the certificate back in the folder with a small smile. Paper wins quiet wars. Update 3, he tried to come back in person 2 Fridays later. He walked into my clinic in a navy suit with his tie a little loose, like he wanted to look more human. He greeted my receptionist by name as if they were old friends. He asked if I had a few minutes between clients. My receptionist asked me by intercom. I said no. I had a patient on the table and another in the chairs. My receptionist relayed that. He asked if he could just pop his head in. She said no. He asked if he could book for tomorrow. She said we were closed on Saturday. He waited in the chairs. He wanted to catch me in the hall. When I walked a patient to the front, he stood. He smiled. He said, "Do you have 60 seconds?" I said, "I do not." I kept my tone even. He said he needed to get back on my schedule because his shoulder was a mess. I said, "Our earliest is in 3 weeks. We can add you to the wait list." He said, "Come on, we know each other." I said, "I treat all my patients by the same rules." He tried to laugh. "You will make me go to your competitor." I said, "That is your choice." Then I turned to my next patient and said, "Right this way." My voice did not rise. My hands did not shake. The clock on the wall clicked once. He sent a text to my fiancée that evening. He wrote that he hoped there were no hard feelings. He wrote that he was only trying to encourage discipline at the office. He wrote that he would appreciate a word with me. She did not respond. She forwarded it to me. I archived it. He tried one more angle. He offered to sponsor a firm wellness event if I would present on posture and injury prevention. He told my receptionist to pass the invite along. I wrote a reply through the clinic inbox. I thanked him. I said our policy is to present for teams who apply through a short form on our website and agree to our terms. The terms included our discount rules and a clear line that the clinic controls scheduling. There was also a clause that late cancellations by the host incur a fee. He did not fill out the form. Final update: 3 months later, the flu season had passed, and so had the small storm. My fiancé's firm sent a full staff memo about sick leave. It matched what HR had told her team. No one off certificate demands. No power plays through policy. A partner from another office was put in charge of a health and safety committee. My fiancée joined it. She helped write a 1-page guide for managers on how to keep productivity up without making people work sick. It was short. It used short sentences. It looked like something I might write on my clinic wall. The partner stayed, but quieter. He no longer approved sick days. He no longer emailed people on their day off asking for updates. He nodded in hallways more. People used that space to breathe. At my clinic, we were busier. The 4 associates who had first come to see me sent more. We hired another therapist. We kept the same cancellation policy. We printed it in larger type. We put it in the new patient welcome email. The 3-star review slipped down the page under 5 others that mentioned clean rooms and easy parking. He never booked again. He showed up once at a networking breakfast and avoided my table. He talked loudly to a person I know sells software no one uses. He laughed like a closing door again. Then he left early. I kept the PDF from that week in a folder. Not because I needed it for court, because the story makes more sense when the paper is in order. It reminds me to keep my own rules clean. Sometimes I think about how small the moves were. A doctor visit at 2 p.m., a clinic policy sheet, an HR memo about fairness. None of it is a movie. None of it makes a big sound. It does not need to. Quiet steps add up. On a Monday morning, months later, my fiancée taped something inside our pantry door. It was the medical certificate from that day, not as a trophy, as a joke between us. The line at the bottom reads, "Unfit for work for 1 day." We say it sometimes when one of us is grumpy. Unfit for work. Drink water, lie down, let the world turn without you for a minute. The clinic still runs on time. The door chime still makes the same soft sound. People still get sick and need a day. We let them take it. We keep the place clean. We wash our hands. We treat rules like tools, not weapons. If there was revenge, it lived in the fairness. We held up his rule and asked him to live under it too. He tried to bend it. The policy did not move. He learned the shape of it. So did the office. So did we. Last week I found the printed policy card my receptionist had held up to him. The corner was bent from that day. I flattened it under a book and put it back in the holder. The numbers on it have not changed. The hours have not changed. The words have not changed. The only thing that changed was who follows them. That is enough for me.